So to get a bona fide guru is not a question of an intellectual search. It is actually the will of providence, the special mercy of Krishna upon the jiva. We should know when we have got a bona fide spiritual master, that means Krishna is very pleased with us. Krishna is appreciating our sincerity. Therefore, he is sending us a bona fide spiritual master. So, we think that we have met your goodness by the will of providence. So, this is true in every devotee's life. Just so that we may accept you as the captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali, which deteriorates all the good qualities of a human being. So, example given here is that if you are on a ship, then you require a captain. There may be waters, there may be winds, and you may want to reach the other side of the shore. But unless there is a captain to take advantage of the winds and knows how to navigate in the waters, many times the ship may not even reach the shore. You may be even drowned in the waters. So it requires an expert captain. Also, when you travel in the sea, there is no guarantee of the weather and safetiness. There could be many safety features, but there is no guarantee, especially in the sea. Prabhupada writes in his Jaladuta diary. Actually, we will read that in the early morning. In few more days, it will come. Prabhupada journeyed 35 days in a cargo ship on board Jaladuta from India to Boston, America. It was a goods carrier, a 70-year-old sannyasi, journeying 35 days on the sea by a sponsored ticket from a nice devotee, Srimati Sumati Morarji, who helped him travel. He didn't even have money to go by this cargo ship. So she sponsored him. And that uh, made the revolution in the world. So, so Prabhupada describes how the Atlantic is so dangerous and so violent, very rough, harsh winds. Prabhupada had seasickness many times on the ship. And the captain of that ship was Mr. Pandya. So he said, the first time in his life, the Atlantic was very, very peaceful. First time in the history of his journey, because he has journeyed, because he was the captain. So he was journeying in the ship many, many times. But the first time, he said the Atlantic was very calm and quiet. So he told Prabhupada, please come back once again so that I'll have a smooth journey. So the point is, it is very, very difficult. Still, Prabhupada made this journey. Also, Prabhupada made this journey to the other part of the world, the Western world. Again, as we see here, it is written, accept you as the captain of the ship for those who desire to cross the difficult ocean of Kali. So this material life itself is considered as an ocean. And as we saw here, the ocean journey is not all pleasing. It's not a pleasant journey. Very risky. We know the Titanic, Prabhupada always quoted, the Titanic. In its very first voyage, it had carried the most important people, very, very big persons of the world. But it sank. Very first voyage. All important men drowned in the waters. Imagine. It's very dangerous. Hmm? Like that, this ocean, this Kali Yuga is compared as an ocean of difficulties and miseries. And just like in ocean, there are sharks, so many dangerous aquatics. One may be eaten up also. It's possible. Every possibility is there. Sharks, whales, timingalas, all of them are there. Can swallow you in no time. Like that, in our life also, so many difficulties swallow our life, our existence, our energy, our time, our mind, and we become very disturbed. So, but just like the captain knows how to navigate nicely with those harsh winds, etc., etc. Hmm? So that's why we requested Prabhupada, please come back once again. We'll all have a very smooth journey and a pleasant journey. So, like that, when we have the captain, then somebody to lead us, it becomes very easy for us to follow him. That captain in our life is considered the spiritual master. That is why we require a spiritual master. People ask why you require a spiritual master. This is the need. You do not know how to navigate in the uh, ocean of material miseries. We don't know how to navigate. The spiritual master will help us. That is the necessity of the spiritual master. Absolute necessity of the spiritual master. That's why Prabhupada quotes one very nice verse. He says, Tad Vijnanartham sa gurum eva abhigachet. Samit pani shrotriyam brahmanishtam. Prabhupada says, Tad Vijnana Artham. Vijnana Artham means if one is seeking spiritual knowledge, transcendental knowledge, highest knowledge for one's benefit, ultimate benefit for one's existence, one's life, then Sa Gurum Eva Abhigachet. Saha, such a person, Gurum Abhigachet. Guru means spiritual master. Gachet means to approach, to accept. Abhigachet means must and should clause. That means compulsory. It's not a question of choice. Okay, some people can accept spiritual master if they want. Some people, if they don't want, they can decide. It's their choice. It's not a question of choice. The Upanishad says, Abhigachet means it's compulsory. Just like if you want to cross the Atlantic, is it a question of choice that you need a captain? Not a question of choice. Without captain, who's going to lead? Who's going to lead you in the ocean, in the sea, voyage? It will become aimless, without direction, and also filled with dangers. So, like that, if we don't have a spiritual master in our life, it means such a person is an aimless person, goalless person, purposeless person. Because there is nobody to direct him what he should do, what he should not do in his life. He does not know. Just like the winds. The same thing in the winds, the ocean. They're blowing different directions. And the ship will be diverted different directions. It will go north 20 degree. Then it will turn to northwest 20 degree. Again it will turn to northeast 30 degree. It may turn to southwest totally. It may go to southeast. It may go all kinds of directions. All based on the force of the wind. Because there's no captain. Take advantage of the wind's direction and navigate expertly in such a way that amidst all these wind currents and water currents, there are two currents, water current from bottom and wind currents. You will still use all those winds and reach the passengers to their destination. Only a captain can do. He's trained. Similarly, even though there may be difficulties in our life, If we have a guru, then he will teach us how to expertly navigate through amidst all these difficulties and challenges and reach the lotus feet of Krishna. Therefore, there's an absolute necessity of accepting a bona fide spiritual master like Srila Prabhupada. It's not a question of choice. Otherwise, as I said, it'll be aimless. Brahmatam, elsewhere it is said. We will simply be wandering to different planetary systems, different bodies, sometimes as human beings, sometimes as demigods, sometimes as aquatics, sometimes as birds, beasts, reptiles, devatas, asuras, upper planetary system, lower planetary system, sometimes to America, sometimes to Australia, sometimes to India. We want to go here, go there. Just like the winds. The winds are deciding where the ship must go. That's the force of the wind. So like that, we don't know where we are supposed to go. Nobody knows where they're supposed to go, what is their goal. That is why you require a spiritual master. So we are very fortunate that our life is very directed, pointed, and very purposeful and meaningful. That most purposeful, meaningful goal is to go back home, back to Godhead, Krishna's lotus feet, and engage in loving, eternal service of Krishna, which Prabhupada has kindly bestowed upon all of us. It's a very great fortune. When we become Krishna conscious, then we will appreciate the value of Krishna's service. Otherwise, we cannot value. Just like, suppose somebody is a quantum physicist. What is his contribution to the world? Others can't appreciate. If you are a physicist, you'll appreciate, my God, he is doing a revolutionary research. So like that, unless you are a devotee, you become a devotee of Krishna, you cannot appreciate the value of Krishna's service. Then you will know it's such a rare thing. The rarest thing in this world is, sometimes you go to the internet and then you try to search on what is the rarest thing in the world. So many list of things will be there. But actually they are not aware. Your devotional service is the most rarest thing and the most precious gift which you can get in your life by the grace of Guru and Krishna. They are giving it free. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Krishna Prema is the most rarest and highest gift. Attaining love for Krishna is the highest gift that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to give to everyone indiscriminately. And Srila Prabhupada, being the most perfect representative of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has actually given this Krishna Prema gift to everyone, deserving, undeserving, qualified, not qualified, pious, not pious, interested, not interested, sincere, not sincere souls. Everybody he gave. Therefore, you can see today all over the world there are devotees. Genuine Krishna devotees. That's nothing less of a miracle, actually. Nothing less of a miracle. If you test the devotees across the world whom Prabhupada made, and even continue to make even now, by some certain number of criteria, what it means to be a devotee of Krishna, you will actually see they will all pass that criteria. So that is very, very special. So I would like to share some glorious pastimes of Prabhupada on this auspicious occasion of Srila Prabhupada's appearance. These are recollections of devotees during Prabhupada's time who stayed with Prabhupada and were fortunate to be part of these Prabhupada's Leelas. But they were fortunate limitedly We are fortunate unlimitedly, actually. Because many times devotees always keep telling this. What is that? Prabhupada's time, pre 1977, devotees were so fortunate. They could see Prabhupada, they could associate with Prabhupada, like that, etc. etc. But then the fact was, Prabhupada toured the world only 14 times. And it is not that in all that 14 times, every center he visited, he had a schedule. It was a scheduled visit and very short period. One day, sometimes half a day, sometimes in a day, he will travel three countries, three cities. See how Prabhupada was journeying and then preaching. So much trouble he took. Today, one country, tomorrow, another country, day after tomorrow, another country. Again, he's back in India. After 2 days, again, he's back in Australia. From Australia, again, he'll take a flight to New York. Like that, he would travel. So, he would hardly meet devotees and spend time with them, or nor devotees would have seen and associated with Prabhupada like that for days and months together. It's not like that. Very less association, direct association in that sense, very less. Also, in that time, also, even though he was in the temple, Australia, Sydney, Melbourne, or Boston, Los Angeles, Bhagavatam class, you would see Prabhupada personally, Guru Puja time, when he came for darshan. Otherwise, he was busy organizing a worldwide movement of devotees and temples of Krishna. Hardly you will get to see Prabhupada. Today, we are so fortunate. Those devotees know very, very little actually. But that was complete for them. That is another aspect. That little association. Lavamatra sadhu sangha. Sarva siddhi haya. So that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says Lavamatra. Split second association you have also. Your life will be completely perfected. Do you want to know? Have you met a spiritual master? This is the central point. Underlying point. Lavamatra sadhu sangha. Less than a second you associate with him, your life will become perfected. Actually, you will know for yourself, I have met the right person, right guru in my life. You will, at one point, get to know. Don't leave Prabhupada. You will get to know. Krishna will give you that intelligence. You have met the right person in your entirety of life. 100%. Every one of you sitting here have experienced this. The potency of Prabhupada. So I was trying to say how they had very little association of Prabhupada, although they were very fortunate. But we are infinitely fortunate because we have all the pastimes of Prabhupada consolidated and we can read all of them in multiple volumes. Hundreds and thousands of devotees sharing their momentous hours or momentous moments with Prabhupada. And we're able to hear all of them, know all of them. So we are unlimitedly fortunate, actually, to say. We should be very thankful to Prabhupada and all the devotees to share their memories. This is one devotee by name Atma Tattva Prabhu. It's very, very revealing, something very revealing about Prabhupada. So he was one of the very top book distributors among ISKCON devotees. So in one of his book distribution days, he was trying to distribute one Krishna book. We all know the Krishna book, the famous, popular Krishna book. So he was on the streets. So when he was trying to hold the Krishna book and show the people, like we have this Bhagavad Gita here. So generally devotees, no, they carry huge number of books and then they generally hold like this. Actually, they carry like this, and sometimes devotees carry a number of books here up to here, and like this they would carry 10 books, 15 books piled up. So she was carrying this Krishna book, and it had one picture of Prabhupada, backside of Krishna book. It had one picture of Prabhupada. And in this particular picture, Prabhupada was looking at a champaka flower. So then this devotee, is a foreigner, Westerner, was trying to tell the visitor that, you see, he's trying to explain him, you see, this is my Guru Maharaj. He said, really? Don't know what happened. Something struck him very deeply, that visitor, passerby on the street. Then immediately he took one thread and some more small instruments from a small box. He opened up and he started measuring Prabhupada's forehead with the thread and some instruments, and Prabhupada's eyes, Prabhupada's ears. It was in the picture actually, back cover picture of Prabhupada. I think something like this, you see, exactly like this. So only Prabhupada's face is there. Started measuring all of them. So then he said, this person's features shows that all the four acharyas are working through him from astrology, because he happened to be an astrologist, which this devotee didn't know. So this through this person, devotee, acharya, all the four acharyas are working. Then he said, I would wish if there was a full picture of your Guru Maharaj. Then he fortunately had a full picture of Prabhupada from his lotus head to the lotus feet. He showed him the photograph of Prabhupada, full form of Prabhupada. And he did another study, some lens he had, and then he started observing more deeply Prabhupada's features. So then he said that actually all the four acharyas are present in his person, in this person. And they're working through him to fulfill their mission and ambition and purposes. Then he reconfirmed that I was not wrong. After seeing that full scale picture of Prabhupada, he said, I was not wrong. I'm 100% sure of this. So you're very fortunate to be with him. Like that he told this devotee Atma Tattva Prabhu. Then Atma Tattva Prabhu said that uh, because he was very thankful to him for revealing the glory of Srila Prabhupada. And something interesting happened after that. This astrologer said, actually, I would like to be part of this movement ISKCON, my next life. Then this devotee said, but actually, he was a Shiva Bhakta. This person was a Shiva Bhakta. In his conversation, he figured out. Then he said, but I thought your ultimate goal is Kailash. Why do you want to be part of our movement? Because our goal is Krishna and Krishna Loka. Yours is Kailasa, right? Then he said, yes, that is true. I'm a Shaivite. My goal is to go to Kailash. Then he continued, if I go to Kailash and meet Lord Shiva, I will tell him that I want to join this movement like this. I want to spread this dharma everywhere. I will request Lord Shiva to bless me to join this movement sometime next life. So then this devotee was completely shocked. How moments the Acharya can transform somebody's life. And there are people who can actually sense glory of these Acharya. So this devotee gifted that Krishna book to him as a complimentary copy after that. So we can see how the four sampradayas actually become unified. Hmm. There's no conflict among the sampradayas. And more interestingly, elsewhere also it is said Chaitanya Sampradaya will unite all the sampradayas, because the Lord only has sent different acharyas in different places at different points to attract the conditioned souls, to impress upon the conditioned souls to attain the lotus feet of Vishnu, Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He only created the Vaishnava Sampradayas. He is consolidating them. And that person chosen is Srila Prabhupada. That's very special. Now, this is another interesting pastime which took place in Bombay. There's one Mataji by name Ambika Devi Dasi. So, she was from Australia. She's an Australian. So, she was telling that actually in Australia we would hardly meet Prabhupada, although he came quite a few times to Australia. So, most of the devotees could not meet Prabhupada. But when Prabhupada came to Bombay, he was very much accessible and available. So when she also visited Prabhupada in Bombay, she was writing her experience, sharing her experience. She was saying actually, wherever Prabhupada went in the world, around 14 times Prabhupada went around the world, right? Wherever he went around the world, one break journey necessarily he will make to Bombay temple. From Australia to America, he will land in Bombay and then go to America. Every time he would land in Bombay, because a lot of difficulties and challenges were there in establishing the ISKCON Juhu temple. Today, it is one of the most important temples in Mumbai, in a prominent location, which was Prabhupada's selection. There's another pastime for that, we will share that later. So, a lot of challenges. So, Prabhupada would drop in Bombay every time. A lot of problems, whether in construction and a lot of things. So, when Prabhupada was in Bombay, I'm saying the initial days, temple was getting established. It was not ready. So, every evening, Prabhupada would have a darshan. Darshan means people can come and meet Prabhupada and talk to him. So his servant would fan him and sit with him. And those days, initial days, anyone could sit with Prabhupada and chant together Hare Krishna mantra with Prabhupada. No, you must be wondering, oh my God, what it must be like sitting with Prabhupada and chanting Hare Krishna. Actually, we are getting the opportunity every day. We are also sitting with Prabhupada and chanting. It's a question of realization. Every day we are sitting next to Prabhupada and chanting. And Prabhupada's recorded chanting also we are putting. So actually we are doing the same thing. It's a question of realization. Every day we are sitting with Prabhupada and chanting. So how much fortunate we must be. So those days devotees could sit next to Prabhupada and chant Hare Krishna. And they can ask questions. No formal gatherings like that. Like that when you're sitting next to Prabhupada. Prabhupada, I have a question, you can talk to him like that. It was very free, very informal. So Prabhupada would welcome the devotees questioning. And even public also could come and sit with Prabhupada and chant few rounds, and then they can go away. They can ask questions. Prabhupada would welcome them. He would not stop them. But very different in Australia and in Western countries. Prabhupada had a very, very, very tight schedule. Moment to moment, he would calculate. Because he was on a marathon of establishing Krishna conscious temples across the world. So he would count every minute of his time. So, but in India, he was very relaxed and he would spend more time and preach like that. So there was one old man. Actually, he was not keeping well. He was quite ill. So much ill. He had one particular kind of disease wherein his head, his hands, his legs would shake all the time like this. Sometimes you have seen some people. Actually, I have seen. very old people, like this, all the time shaking. So then, so one time he met Prabhupada, and then he could not do much to Prabhupada because of his ailment. But he would sit next to Prabhupada and exchange some few pleasantries, some nice informal talks. So Prabhupada had an assistant all the time. He had two kinds of assistants. One was a secretary, one was his assistant for his personal needs. So Prabhupada's servant was the assistant taking care of Prabhupada's personal needs. He thought, this man must be wasting Prabhupada's time, simply coming and chatting and then going away. And anyway, he is not contributing anything to the movement. Prabhupada is so busy and he has such serious schedules and goals, serious work to do. This man simply comes and sits and chats something and goes away. Prabhupada also is allowing every time. So then the devotee said, I think better you don't come and simply sit and go away like that and then you know spend time with Prabhupada like that. You should not be going actually because Prabhupada has very serious work to do. He is the Acharya. He also thought, this old man, very humble person, oh, actually, that must be true. I should not be wasting the Acharya's time. So he stopped meeting Prabhupada. But after a long time, again, he came and met Prabhupada and offered obeisances to Prabhupada. Then Prabhupada immediately, because Prabhupada's memory is it's called photographic memory. It's called photographic memory means you see once for life you will remember. It's called photographic memory. So Prabhupada remembered this old man, not his disciple as such. Oh, where have you been all the time? I didn't see you for many, many days. So haven't you been coming to our temple? He said, oh, Prabhupada, actually they told me not to come. Prabhupada said, what? No, 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 you can come anytime and meet me whenever you want. And Prabhupada called the servant and chastised him. Why did you do this? Why did you tell him not to see me? So like that, we may be very analytical, calculative. The acharyas are not in that mood. They're very generous, very merciful. Huh? Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Mahavadanyaya Avatara. Very, very magnanimous. Not calculating. Like Prabhupada said one place, just like a king. When he gives charity, he does not calculate. Such a person is a king. One who calculates, he is not a charitable person. In those days, when the king becomes pleased with some Brahmin or some old man or some visitor, they glorify him or they need some help from the king, immediately the king will call for a huge treasure, jewels, gold. He'll clap hands and a big tray will come filled with jewelry and he'll not count how many grams and how many this, that. Just take like that, take and go. Or sometimes, maybe that day is wearing some diamond chain or something, just take out, take and go. So this is called, means in material level understanding, Mahavadanyaya means like that. No discrimination. Just take out diamond chain, oh no. Select and then give, not like that. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy had been like that. Indiscriminately, everybody has shown his mercy. Prabhupada's mercy had been like that. That's why I said qualified, not qualified. This is, in fact, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is like that. Papi tapi yata chilo hariname uddharilo. Everyone take the mercy of Krishna. Everybody chant. Everybody take prasadam. Everybody can read Bhagavad Gita. Everybody can become a devotee of Krishna. Everybody can go back to Godhead. Everybody can have the association of the pure devotee of Krishna, like Prabhupada. There's no bar. The Acharya does not restrict his mercy to only select people or select disciples. Everyone he would show his mercy. And there was another interesting pastime which took place in Los Angeles temple. This one devotee by name Deena Dayatri, he was sharing. One day in the Los Angeles ISKCON temple, the 1960s and 70s. All these pastimes, memories have been from those days. There was an ecstatic kirtan like we had yesterday night. We also have daily ecstatic kirtans. We have on Sundays, we have on festivals, we have daily ecstatic kirtans. This is the mercy of the Acharya to have ecstatic kirtans, ecstatic devotees. I mean, there is blessings of the Acharya. So, like this, there was an ecstatic kirtan in Los Angeles temple, and that time Prabhupada was there in the temple. And Prabhupada was laughing and laughing and laughing when the kirtan was going on. It was very, very seeing devotees ecstasy. Prabhupada was very glad, very happy. He was laughing and laughing. And afterwards, the devotee came and asked, Prabhupada, you had been laughing a lot today. Prabhupada said, oh yes, I was laughing because I was laughing to see Narad Muni present in the Los Angeles temple. The devotee said, Narad Muni, the Westerner, could not imagine that Narad Muni could come to Los Angeles temple. Maybe Badrikashrama he will come. Mathura Vrindavan he will come. Los Angeles temple, Mlecha Yavanas place. Well, Narad Muni is there. Prabhupada said, yes, Narad Muni was there. Then the devotee asked, so what was Narad Muni doing? Very interesting question, right? This is called relevant questions answered. People ask all kinds of crazy questions. This is relevant question answered. We should also know how to ask questions. So what was Narad Muni doing? So Prabhupada said, he was laughing. Devotee said, why was he laughing? Actually, because Narad Muni was laughing, Prabhupada was laughing. Seeing Narad Muni laughing. There's another story for Narad Muni laughing in Jagannath Puri. I'll tell that story another time. Why was he laughing? Another story. Anyway, so the devotee said, why was Narad Muni laughing? The Prabhupada said, he was laughing when he saw that the mlechas and chandalas dancing and chanting Hare Krishna in total ecstasy. So Narad Muni was completely taken aback. Prabhupada is coming the same sampradaya of Narada. Prabhupada is actually the disciple of Narad Muni in the disciplic succession. So Narad Muni was very glad upon Prabhupada's achievement to make the mlechas and yavanas chant and dance Krishna's name in ecstasy. He was so impressed with Prabhupada and with the devotees, the Westerners, that have become such nice devotees Prabhupada has made them. So then, there's another last pastime I'll share and close. This was about Prabhupada's kindness and compassion. There's one very well-known devotee in ISKCON by name Guru Kripa Prabhu. He is the one who helped Prabhupada build the ISKCON temple in Vrindavan. He's a Westerner. Single-handedly he took charge and responsibility to raise funds, Westerner, to build the Krishna Balaram temple in Vrindavan and relieved Prabhupada of anxiety. Prabhupada was very happy with him. And Prabhupada wrote a letter, signed, documented. Written and signed means it's documented, right? He said, my dear Guru Kripa, as you are taking trouble to build a temple for Krishna in Vrindavan, Krishna is building a temple for you, a house for you in Goloka. He wrote that in the letter and posted that. So Guru Kripa Prabhu, when read that letter, he could not believe that Prabhupada could write like this. So, this that devotee I am talking about here. So, this Guru Kripa Dasa, Guru Kripa Prabhu, he was sharing something very, very touching. Prabhupada was a very down to earth person. Acharyas are like that. So, this was somewhere in uh, the beginning of the year. It's not that cold. This Guru Kripa um, was earning a lot of money, and every cent he would give to Prabhupada. Whatever he would earn. Cent means it's like 1 rupee in India. Dollars and cents, we say. So every cent he would earn, he would give to Prabhupada. Except his flight ticket to India. He would count that money because he wants to associate with Prabhupada. So he has to save some money to book the flight ticket to come to India so that he can see Prabhupada in Mayapur, because every year Prabhupada will come for Gaurav Purnima to Mayapur. So you want to meet Prabhupada once a year at least and have darshan of Prabhupada and take his association. So he would save money only for the flight ticket. Otherwise, everything he would give. He was earning quite a bit. Every farthing he would give to Prabhupada. So one time, he's kind of donating to Prabhupada was so unique. He didn't even have a sweater to wear. Because he would think, if I save this money, I can give Prabhupada. Like that he would think. He didn't even have a sweater. Prabhupada noticed it immediately. And he called this Guru Kripa. Please come. You don't have a sweater? I said, Prabhupada, I don't have anything. Why only sweater? Then Prabhupada said that. But you had a lot of money. You are earning. I said, I never had any money. It's all your money. And I never have any money for myself. Whatever I get is yours. So then Prabhupada said, okay, come with me. And Prabhupada took him somewhere. So he took this Guru Kripa Prabhu to his room and then he said, um, uh, there was a drawer in Prabhupada's room and there was a chadar in Prabhupada's room. In the drawer. And Prabhupada took the chadar. It was Prabhupada's own chadar. And then he gave him and then covered him, saying that, be warm and be protected. Keep this with you. So he was, very, very touched. Then, uh, see how small detail also Prabhupada was so careful and sensitive and conscious. Such small detail. That warmthness. Sometimes we become very insensitive or very not so caring. But Prabhupada, although he had to organize worldwide Hare Krishna temples and devotees, still Prabhupada's unique quality had been every small detail will catch his attention. So, that Prabhupada was giving this chadar to this devotee, one more devotee saw from a window of that room from outside. He was also a Westerner, but by name Yashoda Nandan Prabhu. So, who was also traveling with this Guru Kripa Prabhu to see Prabhupada. But that time, Prabhupada took him to the room personally, right? So he could not go with him like that. So he was seeing what was Prabhupada doing with him. What was it? Maybe some special discussion or something. He was peeping and seeing through the window. And he saw, oh, Prabhupada's giving his personal chadar to him. Then Prabhupada spotted that also. Oh, Yashodandan is seeing through this window. Prabhupada's eyes are everywhere. Then Prabhupada called him. You also come like that. Then he came into the room. And Prabhupada had his own personal sweater. He just removed and he gave him his own personal sweater also. So like this, Prabhupada was very, very kind and very caring and very warm. It's just not philosophy, just not chanting, just not rules and regulations, just not Mangalarati. Very caring. Those rules, regulations, standards are there to make us a fit devotee in the army of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so that we don't fall into Maya and we continue to serve Krishna and don't lose the uh, great fortune of serving Krishna. That is why sometimes rules and regulations are there. But otherwise, if you see, Prabhupada was very, very kind. You can see any time. There's one thing which you can recognize. In lecture, Prabhupada was very, very, very uh, to the point and very shastric, very strict about his presentation, about the Siddhanta. He would not at all compromise. He would not compromise. Even a bit. So he was very heavy in that sense when it comes to philosophy or his lecturing on Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam when it comes to the standard of Krishna consciousness and the practices. But after the lecture, everybody has sensed this. When you associate with Prabhupada personally, he's a very down to earth person. He was not as strict as it seems when he gives his lecture. He was very compassionate, very kind. That's why, you know. So all these uh, wonderful qualities are the ornaments of a pure devotee. Sadhava sadhu bhushanaha. These are all the sadhu bhushana. The ornaments of a sadhu is all these great qualities which the devotees all sensed actually. That's how they became disciples and dedicated their life to the extent that they could give up anything and everything for Prabhupada. So I'll stop here. Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Prabhupada Vyasa Puja Mahotsav ki jai.